Hello and welcome to our channel. My name is Hafsa Salim. In this video, I'm going to be covering all of the basics of compost, what it is, the benefits of using it in your garden, and 2 simple, easy methods of creating compost at home. If you are a new homesteader and you're interested in learning more about backyard farming, click the subscribe link to see all of our future videos on how to grow your own food, as well as how to get started with backyard chickens. If you are new to gardening, download my Beginner's Guide to Gardening. It's all of the essentials and tips you can use as you get started. Compost is simply organic material that has decomposed over time. It can take 4 to 8 weeks to create compost. The benefits of using compost are that it improves the soil quality because it adds a lot of nutrients. And when you do use majority compost, especially for your seed starter trays, for your container gardening, or even an open gardening bed, you'll be able to save a lot of money on fertilizer and mulch. You may not even need to add those things depending on the size of your garden. Compost also is really great at retaining water, which means less watering for you. Compost works really well in reducing the amount of pests and diseased plants. And lastly, you can recycle your kitchen waste and your yard waste instead of tossing those things into the trash. 2 easy methods of creating compost are: number 1, having an open compost pile. If you are going to use this method, it needs to be placed at least 10 feet from your house because it can easily attract rodents and have a strong odor. So of course, you don't want to have that too close to your house. And the second method is using a compost tumbler or a compost bin. If you have a smaller yard or property, a container like a compost tumbler or a compost bin may work better for you. Both of these methods work great. They both do exactly the same thing, but they both do have different advantages. If you are going to be building a compost pile, it's extremely easy to do. Simply have an enclosure. Usually people use wood. We used raw cut, untreated cedar to put ours together. It's an 8x8 compost pile. When you are putting it together out of wood, make sure that you're using untreated wood or heat treated. Do not use pressure treated because pressure treated typically has chemicals in there that can easily leach into the materials in that bed. Materials that you can throw into your compost pile are: number 1, different types of dried manure. If you are going to be using this compost for a vegetable garden, then you can use manure from chickens, cows, horses. It simply has to be dried out manure in order for it to break down a lot faster. If you are going to use this compost though for a flower garden or for root crops, then it's best to use cow manure or horse manure, not chicken manure. So if you are using manure from any of these animals and you have different types of gardens that you are building, you may want to have 2 to 3 different compost piles for that purpose. And the second thing that you can toss in there is green waste. Green waste includes scraps from your kitchens like vegetables and fruits, as well as scraps from your yard, maybe annual plants that obviously aren't going to come back next year. You can toss weeds in there, not dead weeds though, ones that are still alive. Those will work the best. And you're simply layering different materials in there. Best to layer dry material and then moist material. Dry material and then moist material. It will start to heat up in the core of that bed and it'll start to break down every week or every 2 weeks. Simply take a rake and turn over that material, simply mixing it up. Because we have chickens, we actually let them do that turning over for us and they actually enjoy it. So if you have chickens, let them do this work for you so you don't have to put in your own energy in turning over all this material. The second method of creating compost, as I mentioned, is using a compost tumbler or a compost bin. The advantages of using these 2 things are: number 1, they actually speed up the composting process for you. So for example, for us, we have a compost tumbler. We simply turn it maybe once a week and it'll usually decompose within a month and we can use that material then for our garden. The other advantage of it is that you can usually tuck it away in a corner of your yard or your property so it's not visible, it's not seen. So if you want to have something that it's a bit more discreet, you don't want people to really see it, you can place it in a corner, and it's usually pretty small. You can buy them online or buy them in the store. They're fairly affordable. I'll leave a couple links. All you're doing with that is the same exact thing. You're tossing different types of waste in there. Things from your kitchen, things from your yard. You can also use things like eggshells, avocados, and banana peels. The only thing with these three, while they are very high in nutrients, they take an extremely long time to break down naturally. So what I do is I actually let them dry out. Once they're dried out, I grind them up in a grinding machine and then take that material and toss it into the tumbler. For both of these methods, you'll know when that material is ready to use because it will be very dark, very rich, and as I mentioned, it retains moisture, so it will be very moist as well. While there are many things that you can throw into your compost pile, there are also certain things to avoid putting into your compost pile, which include coal or charcoal ash. Ash in general is fine as long as it's not from coal or from charcoal. Also, avoid putting in there meat, bones, fish, fats, or dairy. All of these things can actually overheat your compost pile. They also give off a very strong odor because they're going to rot in that pile, and they will also attract a lot of rodents and other animals. So in order to avoid that, simply do not put these things into the pile. Also avoid putting any diseased plants or plants that have had pesticides sprayed on them, because naturally those things will end up in your compost, which then you don't want to use for any kind of garden that you're building. Lastly, do not throw pet waste into that pile. Yes, you can use manure from chickens, horses, and cows, but do not use waste from your cats or dogs. That does not help build your compost pile. If you enjoyed this video, click like, and if you are interested in learning a lot more about backyard farming, click on the subscribe link below to see all of our future videos. Something special I do here every week on this channel is I give a shout out to one of my Instagram followers and YouTube subscribers. This week's shout out goes to Greg of Burning Bush Farm and Forest. Check him out on Instagram. How you could be featured in one of my future videos is simply subscribe to this YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram at Homestead Hafsa, and use the hashtag MyHomesteadFeature in any of your Instagram homesteading posts. Tag me in the post and share to your story that you have subscribed to this channel with a screenshot. Make sure you tag me so that I see it. This video is part of a series that I'm doing all on gardening. You'll see that at the end of this message. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.